Joe Burrow out, J.J. McCarthy out. But some good news from the weekend. We got another instant classic with the Cowboys and the Giants in overtime, and all of our takeaways from week 2 Sunday that was in the NFL. Coming at you right now.
NFL analyst Brian Peacock and former NFL scout Matt Williamson bring you expert NFL analysis every day in less than 30 minutes. Get an inside look at the NFL on the field and in the front office with elite breakdowns to next-level analysis and in-depth information only for the real NFL fans. This is Peacock and Williamson, and it starts now.
Welcome to the Peacock and Williamson NFL Show. Brian Peacock alongside Matt Williamson at BD Peacock at Williamson NFL. Thanks, everybody, for making us your first listen on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Love our everydayers. Thanks for hanging with us. And make sure you're subscribed up on YouTube and everywhere you get your podcasts. Bad news to start. We'll get to some fun that happened on Sunday as well, but a couple of quarterback injuries to get out of the way. It was the Cincinnati Bengals who were victorious, have a 2-0 head start now to the 2025 season with a 31-27 win over the 1-1 Jacksonville Jaguars. But the big story here now is, can they keep their head above water even with a 2-0 start without their quarterback, Joe Burrow, who it is confirmed is going to have surgery for turf toe, and he will be out for 3 months, which is most of this NFL season.
I think there's a lot to unpack here, man. I mean, first off, he gets injured a lot in his career, and they don't protect him great. And part of it's on him for being as tough as he is. But, I mean, this has to be a big picture concern for sure. It goes without saying that it's going to be really difficult to overcome. I mean, if it was Herbert or Stroud or Daniels or let alone Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, I mean, of course, you're losing an elite player at the best position, you know. Now, I do think it hurts them more than others, though, because by no means do I think they're equipped to just run the ball and play good defense and don't turn the ball over. You know, I mean, that's just not what they're built to do.
They're the least equipped to lose their top quarterback.
I think so, too. You know, I mean, of course, Allen or any of those guys would be as catastrophic, but I don't know that they can change the way they play the game. And I will say, the two things I think to their credit that are slight positives are they've gotten pretty good production out of Browning. You know, the little we've seen of him, I give the coaching staff and Browning and those receivers credit. Now, it hasn't been for 12 or 15 games. I mean, it's been for a couple weeks here and there or whatever, but he's been serviceable or better. So that's something. And they're 2-0. You know, they're one of the few teams that are 2-0. And frankly, I don't think they were necessarily even the better team in either one of those games. They easily could be 0-2, but nobody cares about that when it's all said and done. But you have two things going for you. Your quarterback has been okay, and you're 2-0.
Did the Jaguars and rookie cornerback Travis Hunter get screwed is one of the words that's been thrown out there on a late PI penalty to keep.
I've heard that. I didn't see it.
Yeah. There's a lot of finger pointing at officiating this week. I usually tend not to go down that road, but when it's a really big moment and you get ticky-tack on a big play that I thought was just a well-played ball by the rookie, that does get frustrating, and it robs you of the moment that you're watching the game. So I don't like that, but I'm not going to blame W's or L's on the officials here today.
Mm-hmm. But two really tight games for the Bengals. Again, you got wins, and that's all that matters. But there were concerns if Burrow were healthy. I mean, it's not like they're rolling.
And these two first stories, and we're going to do some more breaking down of some of the games here, but the biggest stories out of a couple of these games is the quarterback injuries. But another bit of good news for the Bengals, being not only 2-0, is that they're going to go up against another backup quarterback next week because J.J. McCarthy is out, and their next opponent is the Cincinnati Bengals. So week 3, it's Vikings and Bengals, and next we're going to talk about the best game of the weekend, which was Cowboys-Giants, but a snooze fest on Sunday night, which was not a fun game to watch in prime time. Falcons against the Vikings, and we didn't really get any, too much fireworks, so there wasn't a touchdown until the fourth quarter of the game. It was a bunch of field goals, and we didn't really get a fireworks from the second-year quarterbacks, but it turns out that J.J. McCarthy has a high ankle sprain and is very likely to not play next week. And if it's a high ankle sprain, that's something that could keep him out potentially a month for the Minnesota Vikings. And he's already lost his rookie season to an injury. So that's really bad news that he's been able to play one fully healthy game in his NFL career so far.
Yeah, I didn't know until just now that the Bengals and Vikings square off next week, because I knew this McCarthy injury would probably influence my life, and that the Vikings are playing in Ireland against the Steelers in week 4. And I'll be hopping on a plane next Wednesday and coming back the following Tuesday and going to Ireland to watch football. Pretty crazy. So I guess that's something for both fan bases to get excited about. At least you're playing backups. I assume it'll be Wentz. I mean, I think that's what he was brought in to do, but he's late to the party. I thought McCarthy now for the better part of 2 games has really been swimming upstream. You know, I mean, I think he's really thinking too much, playing fast, not in a good way. Sometimes playing fast is a good thing, you know, but he's jumping around and rushing things or not on time. And that game is interesting to me, but more so from a Vikings or a Falcons perspective. Maybe this is redundant, but I just don't feel like I bring it up enough, or maybe he's even just gotten better. But Bijan Robinson blows me away. I mean, like, this guy might be one of the best backs that's ever lived. I mean, like, he is so good and playing at an extremely high level. And Penix is really impressive to me. Maybe I've undersold him a little bit in terms of where he's at in his development, considering him and McCarthy both got drafted at the same time, and he doesn't have that much more playing experience under his belt. But my takeaway from Atlanta, and I'm really hesitant to even bring this up because their defense has been so bad for so long, but they might have some starters from this rookie class that are useful, you know? Bowman.
In the first half of the game, they had a pair of sacks from their 2 first-round pass rushers, which was the big thing. And then Bowman comes in and gets an interception.
Yeah, and they love Watts to put him next to Bates, too, at safety. Mm-hmm. It's like they may have 4 legit starters from this class, and maybe they'll actually have a good defense.
It's huge. You got to go stock up on the Falcons. Still only 1-1. And the Vikings, unfortunate with another injury for J.J. McCarthy, who's played 1 good quarter of NFL football, right? So far in his career. So
that setback is not what you want with him.
And my God, my fantasy team, I was putting so many eggs into the Justin Jefferson. He's going to be the main target hog in that offense. Kevin O'Connell's amazing. A bucket and 3 receptions in this game for 81 yards. And just to put salt in my wounds as a fantasy owner of Hawkinson, the tight end, the little fantasy blurb on Yahoo was Hawkinson effective as blocker in week 1.
Great.
Yeah, not the very little for your fantasy football player.
Not even a little bit. Obviously, that's not what you're looking for. Yeah.
So that's where we're at with the Minnesota Vikings offense right now.
Not good, and especially in that division, you can't fall behind.
Not great. Another 2 weeks in a row of games that I'm calling instant classics. In week 1,
oh man, this was
awesome.
Insane.
The Bills and the Ravens, and this week it was the Cowboys and Giants division rivals. We'll get to that game next. Some other takeaways, including the Kansas City Chiefs falling to 0-2 for the first time in the Patrick Mahomes era, and a whole lot more from week 2, Sunday that was. Next. Today's episode of Peacock and Williamson is brought to you by Prize Picks. And when you watch football on Sundays, first of all, it's awesome that football is back, but there's so much going on, and Prize Picks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. The daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off, and Matt and I make decisions every day. We make calls every week on this podcast about the NFL, but on Prize Picks, being right means cashing in, and it's simple. All you do is you pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes all in less than 60 seconds. It's quick and easy, and it's one of my favorite ways to follow along with football every week and all season long. And you got some very special max discounts every single week. Like this week, it was Travis Kelce. All you needed to go was more than 0.5 receiving yards, and next week you want to stick with the 0-2 Chiefs, you can go Patrick Mahomes. So look out for that max discount, and you only need to go more than 0.5 passing yards to get that W. So download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Here we go, Cowboys and Giants. And
wow,
I don't know if there's an official stat for it, but I'm pretty sure this had to be the most moonballs per snap of Russell Wilson's career. Ended up hurting him finally in overtime, but he was dropping bombs all over the place on that Dallas Cowboys defense, Matt. 40-37 in overtime, the final. Brandon Aubrey making the game-tying field goal to tie the game at 37 to go into overtime, and then getting the game winner after an interception in overtime for the win. 41 fourth quarter points combined between the Cowboys and Giants in week 2.
Like historically crazy stuff. Like this easily could end up being the most entertaining, craziest game of the whole year. I mean, that would not shock me if nothing surpasses this. Now, it didn't have Ravens, Bills, flash or quarterbacks or ramifications most likely, but still just flat out what you're watching was just really, did I just see that? And Aubrey takes him to overtime and then wins it in overtime, and Neighbors was insane in this game. And I guess it was good to see Wilson look like kind of his old self, and keep Dart at bay for a while,
450 passing yards for Russell Wilson, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, a 123 quarterback rating in this one. And yeah, you're right. I mean, there might have been 0 playoff implications, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. The Cowboys and the Giants combined 1 win now in 4 games for these 2 teams, but nonetheless entertaining and a really fun one. I wonder if Russell Wilson heard the chatter and said, you know what, I'm going to go bomb this. I'm going to,
nothing to lose.
I'm going to get benched. I'm going to get benched on my terms. I was watching the Talking Heads on Sunday morning. It's like the question was, is Jackson Dart going to play in this game? Well, it's like he hasn't. There's no reason why he would play unless there's a different quarterback that's the starter. So what do you expect? You expect him to get? You expect Russell Wilson to get benched mid game? Was why you'd be asking that question. So
I know I was shocked those were coming up pregame too.
Yeah, and I think at that point you're stretching. You're on the field and you're Russell Wilson. You're probably not listening to those shows, but I think that's probably the talk in New York radio, as everyone wants to see their first round quarterback. So good on Russell Wilson for at least fending him off a little bit longer, and a really fun game. You got to see a little Cam Scatterbo action as well for the Giants. Led the Giants in carries with 11 carries and 45 yards with a score. But Malik Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson. Wan'Dale Robinson's a name that we haven't mentioned a lot on the podcast. But he had 8 for 142 and a touchdown. But Malik Neighbors, 9 for 167, 2 touchdowns, including one of those final moon balls from Russell Wilson. Really fun game.
And it's a really fun game. But if I'm Dallas, I'm not real thrilled with my defense.
Yeah, it seems like they could have done something about that.
Yeah, maybe had a good player. Right?
Yeah, maybe you could have got a superstar pass rusher or something. Might have helped things out. But similarly on the other side, to be honest with you, if you're a Giants fan, you're like, wait a second, we were supposed to have the best front 7 in football. We're giving up 40 points to the Dallas Cowboys. I would almost rather it be 10-7 in overtime and have a good defense and be calling for the rookie quarterback rather than Russell Wilson all of a sudden looking great, but the defense can't stop anybody.
Yeah, their offense has been such a struggle. They probably just loved seeing touchdowns and points and things like that too. So, but I didn't call out the Giants defense, but absolutely should have as much as I would have Dallas,
Javonte Williams putting up a nice fantasy season for these folks out here too. He had another touchdown in this one, 18 carries for 97 yards. And I think he had a catch in there. Did he have a catch in there?
Clear number 1.
Yeah. How many catches? 6 catches for 33 yards as well out of the backfield. Big time production. That's Christian McCaffrey-like production.
Dallas could be in a lot of these games. I don't know if the Giants will, but I think Dallas could be the new Bengals now.
I've got a trivia question for you. Speaking of Christian McCaffrey, I don't have too many notes here except for Mac Jones played nice for the 49ers at the New Orleans Saints. Niners, one of those teams that improves to 2-0. Saints are 0-2, as kind of most people expected. But this one, maybe not quite as expected just because of how banged up the 49ers were. And
seemed like a successful business trip for the Niners.
That's exactly what it was. And I don't want people, the main takeaway is that Mac Jones played really good. The Niners don't have a lot of pressure to bring Brock Purdy back too soon and turn his turf toe injury into a Joe Burrow surgery 3-month absence, So, if it's 5 weeks instead of 2 weeks, Mac Jones is a professional quarterback that can win you some games in the meantime. So I think that was important to see. And that's why I call it the Kyle Shanahan car wash. That's why Mac Jones is driving through the Kyle Shanahan car wash like Sam Darnold did to try to help out his career. And he puts tape out there like he did this week. That's going to help him potentially get another starting job at some point in his career. He's still a young guy in his 20s, right?
Yeah, I think that's really smart. It's funny you brought that up because I was at, Steelers played Seattle. I'm sure we'll mention it. Tell me about Darnold's career. I'm like, maybe the best thing he did isn't going to Minnesota. It's going to San Francisco, and just sit for a year. And maybe the same is true, with Mac Jones you just mentioned, and Daniel Jones doing the exact same thing in Minnesota. It's like, take notes, guys. You should do these things,
Find a better offensive coordinator for you. Find a better coach for you.
And take the pressure off your shoulders because there's another starter,
You think, to put it simply for Mac Jones in his career, it's probably nice to have maybe the best offensive mind in the NFL calling your plays for you rather than a defensive coordinator who's moonlighting as an offensive coordinator, Matt Patricia, like he had in the Patriots.
I don't think either one of us even know how important that is. I think we both have strong suspicions, and the way you just laid it out there says it all. But is it like playing with dragging an anvil around,
Probably. And the other thing here for the 49ers was that clearly the Saints came into this game was like, look, we can't, they're all banged up. They got their backup quarterback. We can't let Christian McCaffrey beat us. So I think for that reason, and, play action boot, 10 guys are still trying to tackle Christian McCaffrey while you're booting over here and you throw the ball to the backup tight end who rumbles in for a touchdown. So there's some of that for Mac Jones, and that they were not keen to stop Mac Jones in this game. They were keen to stop Christian McCaffrey, but he did still throw a touchdown pass to Christian McCaffrey, which leads me to the trivia question I have for you. Christian McCaffrey became the third player ever to have 50 rushing touchdowns and 30 receiving touchdowns in his career.
Ooh.
Can you guess who the other two are? One is easy, one is hard.
The two that immediately come to mind, and I must be only maybe getting one of the two correct, is Falk and Tomlinson.
Yes, Falk is correct. Tomlinson has surprisingly only had 17 receiving touchdowns. He had 1 billion rushing touchdowns. And I
got another dark horse.
I was like, Walter Payton? I was like,
Payton was my next vote. I know they didn't catch passes back then, but he threw them.
He caught a lot of passes, but not enough touchdown. He had like 14. Saquon Barkley has only 14. He's not even halfway there yet.
I wonder if it's like Ricky Waters or Roger Craig.
I'll give you a hint. It goes further back to when the Colts played in Baltimore. A guy I never watched, and so I was blown away when I saw this.
Yeah, and I know who he is off the top of my head.
Lenny Moore.
Lenny
Moore is the name.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. Yep. I think he actually may have came in the league as a wide receiver that got moved to running back. So that would make it a lot easier in those days.
The original wide back.
Yes. I think he was drafted as a wideout and played several years, but I'd have to double check. Good one.
Hey, it was fun while it lasted with the Steelers looking all awesome, throwing 4 touchdown passes in week 1. They fall in week 2, 31-17 to the Seattle Seahawks. What did you see from these two teams in week 2 who flipped the script from what they did in week 1 on the wins and losses totals?
So pretty crazy from a Seattle perspective. They only lost 1 game on the road last year, McDonald's year. And pretty much over like the last 10 years for road games at 1:00 Eastern, they have the best winning percentage of any team out there. And I just kind of thought, it's a Pete Carroll thing, but I don't know, their team flight or whatever they're doing, they should just keep doing for road games, especially on the East Coast at 1. I love their defense, and I thought it played really, really well. Steelers defense is a nightmare right now. It's the Jets who just got trounced, just destroyed, and a Seattle offense that I don't think is very good. Pittsburgh's defense is really opening up the gates and getting destroyed right now. And the Steelers can't run the ball. They can't stop the run, and the sky is falling around here all of a sudden. Before they thought Aaron Rodgers was going to win back-to-back MVPs, and now they think we should fire everybody, and I kind of understand both sentiments.
And a rookie running back that people are already calling to be cut.
Did you see that play?
Yeah, that's a rough one. You can't just give the team here's a free touchdown, guys.
Yeah, he touches it and then watches it dribble around, and then on the kickoff. They wouldn't have won on anyway. It's easy, right. But you handed them 7 points.
Not helpful. You're supposed to go down and score 7. That's a potential 14-point swing. Yeah. That's a big deal.
Right before that, Pittsburgh was starting to get some momentum, and then a couple bad plays in a row, and it was over.
You can safely drop Johnson from your fantasy teams. Yeah.
Oh, he plays like 2 offensive snaps a game right now.
Yeah, that's a rough one right now. You mentioned what game did you mention there? The
Bills-Jets was the most lopsided of the week. Again, I always say I back the Steelers. I'm like, oh, Steeler win was really good. The Jets are most improved team week 1. And I'm like, the Steelers win doesn't look nearly as good now after they got walloped. Yeah. Another quarterback injury. It doesn't look like Fields is going to play next week either. Yeah, Fields injured. We didn't bring him up with the quarterback injuries early. Fields gets hurt a lot as well. Yeah. It's kind of, I think this was a concussion. All 3 of those quarterbacks. Well, with Fields, he just runs a lot and gets hit a lot. Mm-hmm. And so, which is like kind of why it's amazing that someone like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen haven't spent more time getting hurt, because they run a lot and get hit a lot as well. But I think they do a better job of protecting themselves than maybe some other quarterbacks do. Agreed. I think they have better vision, especially Lamar. That stop start that you fly by. It doesn't take huge. Nobody gets a clean shot on him. Yeah. By the way, someone who part of the scouting report for Jaden Daniels, and they played Thursday, the Commanders did. He's banged up a little bit now. And I don't know what the exact results are with that. If he's going to be able to play next week, you get a little bit of a mini bye there to get right. But he's a guy that put his body on the line in college. And that was one of the things, like, okay, you can run a lot but in the NFL, but you can't quite do that. And so, obviously the Packers defense did a number on the Commanders in that week 2 matchup. He took a beating at LSU too. Like, I liked him coming out, but that was one of my negative concerns was, boy, he doesn't defend himself very well. One more blowout. And this is the one I flipped on my picks from our 6-pack because of some of the stuff that was coming out in the media. And of course, you see it come back to Derrick Henry, and they're like, "Hey, look, they said that you're not hard to tackle." And I was like, "Oh God, this is going to be rough for the Browns, isn't it?" And it was 41-17, another blowout. Man, Bills and Ravens both look good. Yeah, they absolutely do, and they might be the 2 best teams. I mean, we haven't talked Kansas City yet, but there's concerns with them at least. I know the Ravens just lost to the Bills, but I mean, I'm not sure there's a lot of shame in that. This team's really, they didn't even need Derrick Henry in this game. You just teased it. 2 of the biggest items from this weekend. One is the now 0-2 Chiefs following their Super Bowl rematch with the Philadelphia Eagles. And how about Daniel Jones firmly in the MVP conversation after 2 weeks of the NFL season? Next. Wow. This episode of Peacock and Williamson is brought to you by BetterHelp Online Therapy. We all turn to some funny places for advice. Your barista, your bartender, maybe even a random stranger that you're sitting next to in the bathroom. Or how about one of your friends that maybe should not be giving advice to anybody ever. But not everyone is the right one when it comes to real support. That's why BetterHelp is here. With over 30,000 licensed therapists and more than 10 years of experience, BetterHelp helps you find your right match, someone clinically trained and credentialed to guide you through life's challenges. And it just starts with a simple questionnaire, and BetterHelp does the rest, matching for you. And if it's not the right fit, you know what? It happens. Sometimes you can switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. It is flexible, and you can join sessions from online, home, or on the go, whatever makes your therapy fit into your busy schedule. So, as the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Find the one with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/lockedon.
That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon. A lot of folks out there don't even realize they're paying more than they need to at the pump because you could be getting cash back. That's right. Are you still paying full price for gas? Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use our limited time promo code TOUCHDOWN and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You could make up to $300 a year just from buying the gas you already needed. And I was a little skeptical at first. Was it too good to be true? It's totally legit. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, e-gift card. And don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now by using our limited time promo code TOUCHDOWN for a limited time 25-cent per gallon bonus. That's promo code TOUCHDOWN. Offer varies by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions. Where are you at on the worry meter for the Kansas City Chiefs that don't look great in the first 2 weeks? They've played a couple of good opponents, though. They lose to the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles improve to 2-0. Chiefs fall to 0-2. 2017, the final. It was a close game. It was a good game. But Patrick Mahomes has never been 0-2 in his NFL career, Matt.
And he's lost in a row. That's never happened either, going back to the Super Bowl. I mean, again, tough games. The Eagles twice and the Brazil game against Herbert. I mean, so I don't think the sky's falling. I came away from this game, though. I understand they're both good defenses, and I believe that. But I was not impressed with either offense, to be honest with you. And I am officially concerned with one thing with the Chiefs, and that's just their weaponry. I mean, I've always thought Pacheco's just a guy. You know, the pass catchers are maybe amongst the worst in the league right this minute. You know, I mean, Kelsey's not what he used to be. Marquise Brown's not a featured guy.
Kelsey mad on the sidelines too, which, you know, sometimes can pump people up and not be totally indicative of what's really going on. But it doesn't feel great. Like the Chiefs aren't a team where you're like, oh no, the Chiefs are on the schedule. That's not the way it feels.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. You know, like we just mentioned the Bills and the Ravens. Like, whoa.
Yeah,
you're in for you better play your A+ game. I'm not sure the Chiefs are there right now. I don't think they are.
Yeah, Bills, Ravens, Packers. Eagles.
Yeah.
But at the same time, 0-2 Chiefs. I heard it put this way. Someone's like, well, would you rather be the 0-2 Chiefs or the 2-0 Bengals or the 2-0 Niners? One of these teams that don't have their starting quarterback and are all banged up. You're like, oh, I'd rather have the Chiefs. Yeah.
But I would rather be the 2-0 Chargers if they win tonight and have 2 division wins, including the tiebreaker over Kansas City in the West. You know, if they happen to win tonight, that's a pretty nice spot to be in.
I totally agree. The Eagles, very Eagles-like football game.
Yep, enough.
Yeah, enough. Don't worry about, I think it was Chris Jones was having a conversation with Jalen Hurts, John back and forth, and he's talking about, you don't have 100 yards or whatever. He's like, well, got more points than you, so.
Right. We got this ring from last year, and we're going to walk out of your building with a W.
Maybe saving the best for last here. How about 2025 MVP candidate Daniel Jones and the 2-0 Indianapolis Colts? We were skeptical after week 1 playing against the lowly. We're going to have this conversation later in the week about the Miami Dolphins. Don't you worry about that. And we're not going to talk much Dolphins today, but skeptical. And then the Colts get maybe the best defense in the NFL in their building in week 2 and come out on top. 29-28 Colts defeat the Denver Broncos. And I got a stat for you here on Daniel Jones before we get your comments on the Colts and the Broncos in this football game. Daniel Jones was blitzed on a career high 71% of his dropbacks against the Broncos, but went 16 for 25 for 265 yards and a touchdown. That was the 4th most passing yards against the blitz in any game since 2016.
Wow. I think he was only sacked once. Yeah, I'm looking at it. He was only sacked once too.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty darn good. So I thought Bo Nix looked a lot better. I was a little worried after week 1, and apparently he was really focused on Troy Franklin. I didn't see that coming. And unfortunately for Denver, I don't know if you saw how this ended, but they got one of those blocking the field goal, stacking, I forget what they call it, penalties.
Yeah.
Where they miss the field goal and then they move it up 5 yards and he makes it. And it's like, I mean, but it was the right call, but I forget what they call the penalty. But it's
the guy flew over
on them in the back,
right, and trying to
yeah.
top. And everyone knows you can't do it too. So don't give him another chance on a long field goal and make it 5 yards easier.
Yeah, and that cost you a win. But the Colts are one of these stories for sure. And Daniel Jones is leading the list. And I've always thought their head coach was a really good offensive mind. I didn't think he was a great head coach, but their weapons are really good. I mentioned Bijan to start the show. Jonathan Taylor's like, wow. Like sometimes you haven't seen him in a while and you forget, like that guy is a full-grown man that can really move.
Classic Jonathan Taylor, 25 carries. He's not splitting carries with anybody. Nobody else.
Give me everything.
Football. Not the rookie DJ Giddens, who in a blowout got some carries and they thought, okay, DJ Giddens going to eat into the workload. No, Jonathan Taylor, that's it. 25 carries, 165 yards, the 68-yarder. Man.
I might have even mentioned this here, but I was blown away just doing a little Jonathan Taylor. It's probably fantasy homework. There's only 3 running backs in history that average more yards per game than Jonathan Taylor. It's like Dickerson and Emmett. I mean, like they're like easy Hall of Famers, right?
Denver's backfield much more interesting. You got RJ Harvey kind of involved. I thought he'd be a lot more involved, and J.K. Dobbins kind of doing the Javonte Williams thing where it's like, hey, don't forget about me, guys. 14 carries for 7 and a touchdown there. Bo Nix arguing with Sean Payton on the sideline though in this one too. I
saw that, which I kind of thought was good. Like, I'm grown up now. Quit treat me like kid. I'll bite back once in a while to Big Brother or my boss. Real quick on I think Dobbins is impressive. When he's healthy, I've always thought he's a really good player. You just can't stay on the field. Harvey, if he's on your fantasy team, just hold him. There's a couple of these rookie backs that are just going to be a slow burn. But Tyler Batty's always out there too. Like, get him out of here,
I do think they need to figure out what they had the 3rd round receiver, Pat Bryant, who's gotten like, I think 2 targets in 3 games or something like that. He was 2 for 18 in this one. Troy Franklin, 2nd-year guy out of nowhere, becomes the leading receiver, 9 targets, by far the most, 8 for 89. He's got speed, a touchdown. He was Bo Nix's college teammate, and so they're familiar with each other. Marvin Mims had the touchdown in this one, and then just a bunch of 1 catch for Evan Ingram, 3 catches for Troutman, 1 for Dobbins out of the backfield, 1 for 6 for Cortland Sutton. Trent Sherfield had a catch for 3 yards. You mentioned Tyler Batty, 2 catches for 19. Just really spreading the ball around. I would almost want to condense it a little bit.
I hear you, but I think the total opposite about the Colts, where Pittman looks like himself. Taylor's catching balls. I love downs. Pierce is your downfield threat, and Tyler Warren is going to catch a lot of balls. I'm not saying it's Brock Bowers, but it's could be similar kind of rookie year.
Daniel Jones, 316 yards passing, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 107 rating. And
I don't think they've punted yet.
That's crazy. The Colts won't punt after 2 weeks of the season. 2-0.
See that one coming.
We did not see that one coming. We disrespected the Colts. I think they're gonna. We'll see. I'm not 100% there yet.
I just want to remind people, I'm not predicting it, but remember after 2 weeks last year, the Saints had scored like 95 points and were just destroying the league. And then the wheels just totally fell off.
Yeah, I know there was 40 points in week 1 by the Saints last year. I know they had a big second game too, and then were the worst team in the league.
I think it was over 40 for 2 weeks in a row. Yeah.
I don't think the Colts will be the worst team, but
no. But the league can change pretty quick, folks.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm curious in the Colts. Let's keep it going, guys.
Yeah.
And I like the redemption story. Everyone, me included. I did not say good things about Daniel Jones for a while, dating back years into his tenure with the New York Giants. So prove us wrong, Daniel Jones. I love it.
But we talked about tonight's game with the Chargers. If they win, wow, what a great spot they are in the West. If Houston loses and they're 0-2 and the Colts are 2-0, you got to start thinking about these things now in division races.
Well, hold on. The Raiders potentially 2-0 as well. So someone's going to be 2-0 off the AFC West.
That's a good point. Yeah,
it's going to be the Chargers, but it could be the Raiders.
But a Houston loss would hurt them pretty bad tonight.
I can't wait. First round, going head to head. Let's go. Hampton.
Yeah, there should be good ones tonight.
All right. We'll break all those down tomorrow. Double Monday nighter, double header, and your questions as well at BD Peacock at Williamson NFL. Drop a question on YouTube, subscribe while you're there, and Matt and I back tomorrow right here, Peacock and Williamson.